Before discussing the current crisis in Manipur, let me emphasize that every Indian must revere Manipur because in 1944, the Azad Hind Fauj launched the Imphal campaign, an offensive against British forces to free India under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose. This campaign demonstrated that the determination and fighting spirit of Indians for their motherland can be kindled given honest, able, and dedicated leadership. The Battle of Imphal remains a significant chapter in India's struggle for independence. This glorious phase of freedom struggle has been ignored and discredited and killed by silence by the renegade leadership of Congress, the flunkies of Anglo-American West. What is happening in Manipur might be a stern demonstration of power of church and NGOs, which are the proxy influence of Anglo-American West in India. Their proxy can turn India upside down if at any time any Indian leadership decides to use India's natural and human resources for the benefit of Indians rather than multinational corporations. India's relative independent stand, India's participation in BRICS, her oil import from Russia, her neutral stand in Ukraine war are some of the political stands which are not compatible with the interest of collective West. Chaos in Manipur might be a demonstration that similar dislocation might be instigated simultaneously in multiple states if India continues to pursue political and economic lines not compatible with the interest of collective West. Now let's turn to the events of Manipur to understand the role of the church in this social dislocation. The West's utilization of churches to promote Christianity in Manipur can be understood within the context of colonialism, cultural assimilation, and the spread of European ideologies. Manipur, located in northeastern India, was a region that experienced significant contact with European powers during the colonial era. Corporate sectors of India under the control of Anglophonic Indians is estimated to drain out more than at least $1 trillion annually to Western banks through money laundering. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan has issued statement to this effect. Drainage from India is never disclosed, but is far more than what it is from Pakistan. Maintenance of such astronomical drainage from poor underdeveloped countries of South Asia, Africa, and Latin America to the banks of collective West is the main preoccupation of Western countries, and their politics circles around this relationship.
Billions of dollars leave the poorer countries and go towards rich countries. Billions of dollars siphoned off by the ruling elites of the developing world. And they find their way into Western offshore accounts, tax havens, expensive properties hidden behind companies bought in Western capitals. This is devastating the developing world. This is causing more poverty, deaths. It's impoverishing the developing world. The difference between rich and poor countries is growing because of this. Poor get poorer and the rich get richer. There is going to be a crisis sooner or later. The laws protecting these criminals. I hope that the United Nations takes a lead in this. It involves the IMF, the World Bank, Asian Development Bank. They must find a way of stopping this plunder of the developing world.
Population of Manipur is about 4 million living in a geographical area of 22,300 square kilometers. 53% of Manipur population are Meitei. They traditionally follow Hinduism. They are Vaishnavites as their religion. Meitei community live mainly in the centrally located valley, which makes up 10% of the landmass of Manipur. This valley is surrounded by hills inhabited by other ethnic groups. Of that, 30% are Kukis, who may have derived from multiple other sub-tribes and subscribed to indigenous religion. Now they're aggressively converted to Christianity. Nagas is another ethnic group that makes up 24% of Manipur population. Each of these groups has its subdivisions as well. During the last 100 years, both Kukis and Nagas have been aggressively converted to Christianity from 0.5% about a century ago to current 90% by the initiative of Anglo-American churches with the active support of Anglo-American churches and the Congress government. Needless to state, such conversion is almost definitely not to help these converts to reach a state of cosmic consciousness or communion with supernatural. They were enticed with material incentives for conversion into Christianity right under the nose of the ruling Congress government. Christian churches are the tools of the imperial powers. Their main agenda is to convert local population into Christianity with the explicit purpose of delinking them from their original culture and identity and thus create a power base for the Western imperialists. This is the strategy Western imperialists tried to employ between late 19th and early 20th century during the Opium War and Boxer's Revolution in China, until Mao Zedong came to power and cleaned China of the imperialist pollution and created the base for China's rise. During the 19th and early 20th century, European colonial powers, particularly the British, sought to exert their influence over Manipur. Christianity, being an integral part of Western culture, became one of the tools employed to further the colonial agenda. Churches were established as institutions that not only provided religious services but also served as centers for Western education, healthcare, and social transformation. The colonial powers viewed the spread of Christianity to civilize indigenous populations and erode their cultural identities, thereby making them more amenable to Western control. Conversion to Christianity was often associated with the adoption of Western values, practices, and education systems, effectively undermining traditional beliefs and social structures. Most of the civil wars all around Africa, Asia, and South America are linked to the diabolical plots of conversion by Anglo-American churches. Quoting Mohan Bhagavat, "Today, India is ruling Bharat." Let me refer to a statement of the RSS chief, Mohan Bhagavat, who pointed out, India and Bharat are composites of the statehood of India. Mohan Bhagavat has pointed out that Anglophonic population of India are only 5% of the total and comical imitation and aligned to the Anglo-American West. This tiny minority is ruling Bharat, where 95% of Indians live. People of Bharat can't express their thoughts in English. Where are those days when Bharat will rule Bharat? Hence, India looks after the economic interest of the West as they did before the transfer of power, an event which is widely publicized as independence. The role of Bharat is to pay 30 to 35 different state taxes, vote once in 5 years to elect representatives in public offices, and work in the lowest rank of army and police or undertake menial tasks. Indians better remember that British Empire was made by the resources of Bharat's human and natural resources. British victory over 2 world wars were made possible by the human and natural resources of Bharat. Current power and influence of collective West is to a large extent made possible through the natural resources of Bharat and human resources of India. Same applies to all the nations of the subcontinent. Will a leadership ever emerge who makes sure that not India but Bharat rules Bharat and utilizes her human and natural resources for the benefit of masses rather than Western multinational corporations? If that day comes, then what is happening in Manipur today may be engineered by Anglo-American West throughout the nation to help disintegrate India. Today, whole of India is thoroughly under the influence of Anglo-American West, also called Global North. Remember, Church wields enormous power in India. Do we know that next to the Indian government, it is the church that owns most of the land mass of India?
यह बात हम सब जानते हैं वर्टिकल बार, लेकिन भारत में सरकार के बाद सबसे अधिक जमीन कैथोलिक चर्च के पास है। यह बात आपको भी सोचने पर मजबूर कर रही होगी कि चर्च के पास इतनी जमीन आखिर आई कैसे। इसी के बारे में हम आगे जानेंगे वर्टिकल बार। 1927 के भारतीय चर्च अधिनियम के माध्यम से इनको यह जमीन ब्रिटिश सरकार के द्वारा आवंटित की गई थी। यह जमीनें उपजाऊ थी और स्थानीय किसानों एवं जंगलों को साफ करके चर्च को दी गई थी। आप जरा ध्यान से देखोगे तो पाओगे कि भारत में ईसाई आबादी इतनी अधिक जनसंख्या में नहीं है, फिर भी बहुत से गांवों में चर्च बने हुए हैं और वहां ईसाई आबादी भी नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी चर्च बना दिए गए क्योंकि इनके पास वहां भूमि थी। यह लोग गांवों में बने इन चर्च के माध्यम से लोगों में ईसाई धर्म का प्रचार प्रसार करने की कोशिश में लगे रहते हैं। भारत में कैथोलिक चर्च द्वारा भूमि संपत्ति का स्वामित्व जांच और विवाद का विषय रहा है, जिसने कई मुद्दों को जन्म दिया है। एक बड़ी चिंता चर्च की भूमि स्वामित्व की वैधता है, जबकि भारत सरकार ने 1965 में एक परिपत्र जारी किया था जिसमें कहा गया था कि ब्रिटिश सरकार द्वारा दिए गए पट्टों को वैध नहीं माना जाएगा। इस निर्देश के लगातार कार्यान्वयन में कमी रही है। भारत में कैथोलिक चर्च पर भी भूमि घोटालों में शामिल होने के आरोप लगे हैं।
Moreover, India is drifting politically closer and closer to Anglo-American West, who are ruled by military-industrial complex. This alliance is heading inevitably towards the same fate as that of Ukraine, meaning fight China to the last, Bharatiya to the detriment and peril of innocent masses. Viewers and subscribers refuse to be fooled by corporate media narratives, who are paid agents of Western arms dealers. Learn unbiased facts from independent media. Identify your own interest. Resist war at all cost. Remember, knowledge is power. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe and ring the bell.